Hey, buenos dias, and welcome back to another episode of the duo group Ironman. In the last video, I tried out the Doom for the first time, and I got insanely lucky. As you just saw in the previous clips, I got the staff, and I got 2 cloths. I currently have 2 out of 3 of the DK's pets, and let me roll the clips right now from when I got them. I got the Rex pet very early on at 130 KC, which is when we were going for the B ring, but I never changed my method or my strategy. Even after getting the B ring, I still did all 3 DKs for my Dagannoth tasks, well aware of the possibility that I could get a dupe Rex pet. And sure enough, I did get a dupe Rex pet at 1690 KC. It wasn't until pretty recently that I got my actual second DK's pet Prime at 2054 KC. I didn't mind doing the normal tribrid DKs when I still needed 2 pets, but now that I only need 1 pet, it feels like a bit of a waste to be doing all 3, especially since the drop rate for each DK pet is 1 in 5,000. It's a rare enough pet as it is. I don't want to make it triple the time to get it for the last one that I need. I couldn't really find any guides on YouTube for only fighting Dagannoth Supreme. I mean, I saw a couple, but the gear and the setups weren't exactly relevant to me. There is the Pet Hunters Discord. This is what they have for hunting Dagannoth Supreme. It involves ideally 3 or 4 alts. You could do it with 2 alts, but I do not want to use any alts for fighting Supreme. So this is not going to be relevant to what I'm going to be doing. And most of you watching this video probably do not want to have to do that either. So I want to figure out a method and gear setup that works for me for hunting only Dagannoth Supreme. I do currently have a Dagannoth task right now. I was saving it specifically for this video. And in fact, ever since I got the Prime Pet, was it like 1 to 2 months ago, I've not done any tasks at DKs because I was kind of just waiting to make this video where I figure out a method for Supreme. So let me get a gear setup going and we'll try something out. Heading on over now, and I'm going to time it. I also want to mention the 2 shortcuts. In May of 2024, which was Project Rebalance Skilling, they added some high-level agility shortcuts that made it really fast to get to DKs now. It's 85 agility for the first shortcut that's on the island, and then 81 agility for the second shortcut that's within the dungeon. And if you are able to use that first level 85 shortcut, that lets you bypass needing a pet rock and rune thrown axe. And after timing it, it is just over 1 minute to get to outside the DK's lair. I was thinking maybe it'd be good to bring the Noxious Halberd so that I'd be able to attack from 2 tiles away instead of having to be right next to Supreme, which maybe could have come in handy in case Rex was coming close by, but I think it will be nice to have the Crystal Shield, which is the highest range defense bonus shield in the game. I'm not sure if the Dins will come in handy or not. Might end up not even using that. And then I have the Lightbearer and Death Charge in my rune pouch to use more Voidwaker specs. We'll see if that's good to do or not. I kind of wish I had Justy because that'd be nice. I think I'll just be praying Mage the whole time, so I'll be tanking Supreme and hopefully not Rex, but maybe sometimes even Rex as well. But I'll be taking a lot of range hits, and Justy would have been nice. I thought maybe Oathplate, because they say the best defense is a good offense, but also the best defense is also a good defense. So I don't know which will end up being better. Same mindset with the Crystal Shield versus bringing a Vernic. We'll see how that goes. First thing I have to do though is I have to find a world where both lairs are empty, because I'll be going back and forth between the Standard Cave and the Slayer Cave. So let's hop. Okay, quick prayer set to Mage and Piety. Let's try this out. Yeah, I'm kind of taking a lot of damage so far. Oh no, not Rex. Oh no. This is not ideal. We did it. Okay, you want to grab the bones, and then we're gonna go up here. I'll switch over to the Slayer one, and Rex is not in an ideal spot. A lot of the time they're going to be off tick, so I will be able to perflict them. It is going to be more effort than just doing DKs as a tribrid, because tribrid DKs are pretty brain dead. But not only do I have to hope that they're off tick, I also have to hope that Rex doesn't come up or isn't close by either. So there's kind of 2 things that have to fall into place every time in order for me to be able to not take damage. Is that like an Ironman just camping Rex? That's probably like the ideal thing to do, finding an Iron Man that's just camping Rex, so I'd never have to worry about Rex coming up to me. Yeah, I don't know, man, because it's so hard just to find the world. What you could do, like if you really get into the rhythm of this and it's working out, you could find 2 worlds and hop between the 2 worlds, because you probably will have a little bit of downtime waiting for the first DK to spawn again, or from the standard layer 1 to spawn again. It's hard enough to find a world with an open spot. It's even harder to find a world with 2 open spots. It's even way harder to be able to find 2 worlds with 2 open spots to hop between the 2, and there's a good chance you will probably lose one of the spots in one of those worlds, unless you have 4 alts or friends helping you out. Normally doing DKs, I get 80 kills per hour, which means, because there's 3 of them for Supreme, or any one specifically, I'm getting about 26 to 27 kills per hour of one specific one. Just realized I forgot to bring a Raxite Venom Sacs, although I've not been poisoned yet. The wiki has a strategy for all 3. The wiki has a strategy for Rex only, and the wiki has a strategy for Prime only, but there's none for Supreme only. I know you're able to safe spot Rex. There's probably a way to only safe spot, or like only have Prime on you, but maybe there's not a way to only have Supreme on you. And if you go down to the equipment recommendations, again, they just have setups for tribrid, Rex only, and Prime only. There's no Supreme only option. Why did Supreme have to be the one pet that I got last? Okay, look, just hear me out. I want to try something to see how it is. I'm gonna try going down here. Saturated Hearts, run long range. Let's see if we can hit with it. I don't know if this is gonna work. It's kind of working. I'm very scared of the other 2 though. I was thinking maybe the double accuracy roll passive effect thing from the Confliction Gauntlets would help. I mean, obviously the numbers don't lie, it does help, but I am still missing quite a lot. And then I remembered the special attack of the Eye of Ayak. It's kind of like a BGS, but for mage. It drains magic defense equal to the amount of damage that the spec does. After I used and hit with the specs, it was hitting more accurately, although it's only a 1 kill sample size, so you can't really conclusively come to a conclusion from this. Even if I went with someone who was killing Rex or Prime or both, I would need someone in both layers doing that, and that's just way too much to coordinate on the fly every time I get a Dagannoth task. If I were to just stay in one layer, if there even was a way to isolate Supreme somewhere, I would be standing around waiting for the respawn timer. And at that point, I may as well be tribriding, because I can kill the other DKs during the 90-second respawn timer before Supreme were to respawn again. Even though Supreme is very tanky against range and mage attacks, they did still give him a 35% elemental weakness against Earth, so I'm trying this out with the Kodai using Earth Surge. If you use the elemental spell a monster is weak to, it gives you 1% magic damage and 1% magic accuracy for each percent of weakness. And with Supreme having a 35% Earth weakness, I thought maybe there's a chance that this could be pretty good, considering that I'm on task with the Slayer Helm perk, I have the Confliction Gauntlet's passive effect, I have close to max mage bonus, but it did hit sometimes, but not good enough, I think, to make it worthwhile. For the sake of completeness, I brought a range setup as well. I tried it with the T-bow. I was trying that for a while. It did not seem to hit very well. And I brought the Bofo with the crystal armor to try out as well, and neither of them did particularly well, as you can see in the clip here. I was getting hit a good amount by the Spinelips when I was using range, but especially in my mage setup, they were really hitting a lot on me. Yeah, I feel like I've kind of come to a conclusion here that there's really not a worthwhile method to do this solo. I mean, maybe if I was a lower level, it'd be more worthwhile if I wasn't able to tribrid, but because of the fact I'm able to tribrid and I can kill all the DKs before one of them would respawn within that 90-second respawn timer, I may as well just tribrid, unless I'm going to be using both layers. But it's hard to find a world to be able to use both layers, and I don't have a consistent enough method. With melee, yeah, it might have been more kills per hour for Supreme, but at the same time, I would have to bank more frequently, and that might even balance out the extra kills per hour. And if I did that for potentially 5,000 plus more kills, well, that would go through a ton of my supplies. Mage and range just do not seem worthwhile because of how long it takes to kill Supreme with either of those styles, so melee would have to be the way that I would have to go if I wanted to do some kind of Supreme only method. Again, I would have to use both layers for Supreme only to be worthwhile. So even if there was a safe spot tile I could range or mage Supreme from and not be in aggro range from Rex and Prime, I still have to hop back and forth between the layers after every kill, so the safe spot tile wouldn't really even help with anything if there was one, because of the fact that Prime or Rex can aggro me as soon as I go down the ladder anyways. My biggest downfall before making this video was that I assumed my gear would be tanky enough to the point where I would barely even take damage just praying mage the whole time and meleeing down Supreme. But clearly that's not the case, and with the frequency I would have to bank combined with the intensiveness of the method due to the constant prayer flicking means that the idea of doing Supreme only is going to be a no-go for me, and I will in fact be tribriding DKs going forward whenever I get a Dagannoth task. Did you see how fast that Rex kill was? This is my first time properly using the eye for any content, and oh my god, that was ridiculous. I think the eye is actually best in slot for Rex instead of the shadow, because for the shadow, it scales very heavily based on your gear, and people don't really bring like 6-way mage switches to DKs, because you need to find the right balance between switches for DPS, but also having enough supplies for lengthy trips. And in case you didn't believe me about killing all the DKs before the first one respawns, well, here you go. This is pretty typical to be waiting like 20 seconds between rotations to spawn. This is why it's pointless for me to camp Supreme in one lair, since I could kill the other two while waiting for him to respawn if I'm tribriding. I would have to use 2 lairs at least for it to be worthwhile, but I'm also taking too much damage doing that method, so I'd also kind of have to use ults. But it's fine. I mean, I do really enjoy DKs, plus the bones are nice for prayer XP, and the uniques are good for Death's Coffer, or for when they add fingers to our characters for more ring slots. Right now, we don't have fingers, so it makes sense there's only 1 ring slot. But maybe someday, if they make it a bit more realistic and give our characters 10 fingers, then we can have the 11 ring slots that we deserve. With all that extra time I have between rotations, I can use the time to heal up on the Spinelips with Blood Barrage. And I also have the SGS to heal up and restore some prayer on Supreme. And I always have at least 1 spec. I think I get like 60 or 70 spec back between each rotation. That's with the Lightbearer, by the way. Ooh, a Berserker ring. An Archer's ring in the same trip. Oh, Spootug's ready to do some Yama for today, so I'm going to end my trip after this kill. Strategically ending the trip with Supreme being the last one, of course. I pretty much resigned myself to doing 2 trip tasks at this point, because there's no point like prayer flicking when it's like only 1 minute to get back here. So just chill, camp my DPS prayer the whole time. Can bring some extra gear switches, and I am zooming through. As you can see by the XP up here, I'm getting like 27k Slayer XP per hour. For some reason, the DKs aren't all the same amount of Slayer XP. Supreme is 255 XP, whereas the other 2 are 331.4 XP. And if you add those up and divide it by 3, it comes out to about 306 XP per DK. If we take 27k XP per hour, divide that by 306, it's about 88 DKs per hour, but it is going to come down to like 80 to 85 DKs per hour due to the run getting there. Here's the current log, by the way. I'll put Spootdogs up on screen as well. Currently 7 horns, 1 helm, and 1 legs. And actually, we have enough oath plate shards to be able to make a piece of oath plate, but it would probably be best to wait until we only need 1 or maybe 2 pieces by then, 1 or 2 pieces left, and then use that to make the final 1 to 2 pieces, depending on how many shards that we have. The goal would be to get 2 full sets of oath plate. We can't exactly control which pieces we get, because I can see it right now. We make the oath plate chest, and then we get like 3 or 4 oath plate chests in a row. It's like, well, we could use that to make a second legs instead. Since upgrading both of our tormented bracelets to confliction gauntlets in the last video, maybe there's some kind of bias because maybe I'm subconsciously specifically looking for something to point out, but it really does feel noticeably better. Like in the last phase, I swear it's way more common now for us to get the kill before Yama spawns the Void Flares, or like right after he spawns them, so we don't have to deal with them. Well, that's the end of the DK's task. I do want to check one thing. It's my first time really using the Eye of Ayak, and I'm curious how many charges did I use on it from a DK's task. I started with 10k, that's what I filled it up with. Is now at 9363. That is 637 charges, which is, it's 1 cast rune, 2 death runes, so it's 637 cast runes and about 1300 death runes for DK's task. Plus I used a little bit of blood spells too. But yeah, I guess from here going forward, my DK's tasks will just be the same way I've always done them, except with a couple of upgrades now I did not have before. Because the theme of this video is DKs, I do want to try to focus a little bit more on getting DKs tasks, so that was not back to back, but I'll try to get some more DK's tasks throughout this video, along with the other side grinds I'm always working on. Because it's a Slayer video, that means I should be getting a decent amount of hard clues, and a little update on the stack. It's currently 965. This is a very important Hispori, not because I beat Hispori, but because this is going to give me 70 mil farming XP. As soon as I got here, I remembered a recent change they made to the Granite Hammer where there's now a Golem Bane effect that gives 30% increased accuracy and damage against gargoyles if you use the Granite Hammer. I normally would just bring it in place of a Rock Hammer, but I was having a look at the wiki because I was curious where it falls in terms of gear progression, and as it turns out, for gargoyles, it lists the Granite Hammer as the first tier. It's like Scythe, Soul Reaper, Axe, and then Granite Hammer. The Bludgeon, which is what I've been using. Oh, I think Makahitals is actually better as well. Oh, I think they added like negative flat armor, so that's probably why Makahitals are good. But Bludgeon is in the 3rd tier, and that's what I've been using for a while. So I guess I'll start using the Granite Hammer and the Vernic. And it saves an inventory space not having the Granite Hammer in my inventory. And when it's equipped, it does still work as the Rock Hammer to smash the Gargs. What do we get? Yes, I got DKs. You logs. No, I'm Mudkip. B-Ring. Yeah, I don't know why it still says Echo from the league. It just never changed back. It's a nice little reminder of the past. Maybe it's due to the acoustics of this cave. There's an archer's ring. There's the end of a DK's task. Come on, back to back, please. Yes, yes, I actually got the back to back. Yes, 188 of them too. Wow, another hard clue. Oh my, I'm actually gonna have to de-gear after this first trip to do these hard clues. That's crazy. Well, this clue step is surprising. There is another DK's task done. No way, the back 3 back Dagannoth task. Yes. How perfect. Oh, I did not do it. It was Spook Dog that did it. I have a very nice and talented teammate. Gaslighting isn't real. I think you're crazy making it up for attention. Is it even worth showing the Warrior's ring? Or like any of the rings? I don't know. Well, there's another ring. Maybe I'll just show the rings when I get them. I've currently got 181 waves done at Doom. Yep, I went back for some more Doom tonight, and I made it to wave 8 on my first try. Except it didn't last very long because I was supposed to hit the boss with my Chally, but for some reason I preemptively stopped and got hit by 99 for not doing the melee punish. On my second attempt of the night, I made it to wave 8 once again. I think one of my mistakes is focusing too hard on doing the Chally spec, specifically the spec part of using the Chally. Because the T-bow doesn't have a spec, when I switch to the Crystal Halberd, I have to wait a little bit to be able to click on the spec orb, and it's that waiting time that distracts me, which is not good when there's so much else going on. I decided since I'm not comfortable here, I'll just bonk it with the Halley instead. And it wasn't clean, but making sure I actually do the melee punish is a higher priority than getting hit by debris or missing a perflick. I do feel like I'm getting more comfortable with car phase. It really just feels the same as waves 6 and 7. I've just had a bit more experience with it, so I'm a bit more used to what's going on. Because the more I've been doing it, the more I've been doing things like keeping in mind where I'll be luring Doom to next. I've been looking for where the nearby boulders are and getting ready to run behind them, and I'm remembering that Doom sends out those orbs when he zooms, and I'm getting ready to switch prayers accordingly. I think my main struggle is dealing with the double boulder attack. I feel like I know how it works and what you're supposed to do in theory, but I just haven't had enough experience with it yet to build up the muscle memory for it. And then third run of the night, I made it to wave 8 again. So if nothing else, I'm happy I'm able to make it to wave 8 consistently, kind of. Well, maybe I wouldn't say consistently necessarily because I'm still making a ton of mistakes in earlier waves. It's just that when you've got a full inventory of brews and restores for a run, you are able to make a lot of mistakes. I did remember for that first double boulder to wait to turn on my prayer because the second boulder turns off your prayer as well when it explodes. So I made sure to wait until I saw that second boulder pop open to begin the first prayer. Can't say I did as well on the second double boulder I got here though, but nonetheless, I still made it through to the shield phase, which is somewhat of a nice relief since it's a little less click intensive. I have a bit of time to brew up and restore before car phase starts. You probably already know that sleeping in real life is really important. It's the time that your brain uses to process all the information that you take in during the day. Like cramming in a bunch of studying the morning before a test doesn't typically work as well since your brain hasn't had that resting time to consolidate your experiences and memories. I think the same applies here. If you're struggling to learn something in RuneScape and you feel like you've made a bit of progress, but you're stuck from there, just sleep on it. Because, well, first off, forcing yourself to keep going is a route to burnout, but also because it'll give your brain time to process information to build up your problem-solving skills and muscle memory. Oh my god, they did it. Yes. Whew. First time beating wave 8. Yeah, I was really lucky because, really it was like being able to beat Doom before this part came up. Oh, that feels so good. I'm so glad. I don't even want to bother to try deep delving. I'm just glad to get the KC. Oh, this is a really, really good feeling. Confirm, yes. And we got the elite clue to go along with it. Yes, dude. Yeah, let's take a look at the board here to see how many waves in total it took me and how many times I made it to each wave before I got my first wave 8 completion. So it was 6 wave 7s. I remember, I think one or two of those, I think one of those times I just claimed at wave 7, so I think it was 5 attempts at wave 8. It's 203 total waves, and then if we look at this stat board thing, 36 deaths, and yeah, it was under 11 minutes. Bit under 11 minutes for my first wave 8 completion. If we look at the collection log, deep delves 1. And now my deepest delve says 8 instead of 7. Yeah. Happy with that. Very happy with that. I look back and I just got 20 mil agility XP. Must have gained a lot of agility XP from barb fishing because I've not trained agility for a long time. Add a banana as a rare drop to DKs. That'd be epic. And I could have been like, no, that could have been the pets. Oh my god. I actually got it. What? Dude, I just completed DKs. No shot, bro. What? I actually just got... I'm actually done with DKs forever. It's green logged. What? Well, it's Pet Dagannoth Supreme at 2266 KC. It's actually green logged. I was totally not expecting to get that this video or anytime soon. How many pets do I have total now? Pet number 26. There's the completed DK's trio of pets. That's so weird that like I'm never gonna do DKs again. Maybe someday I'll run out of dragon axes and I'll have to go back for more. Yeah, I will deposit this into the bank where I have them in the order that I got them. Yeah, my last pet, which was around 1 to 2 months ago, was the prime pet, and my next pet after that is the supreme pet, right next to each other. And there's Rex pet all the way up here, which is my second ever pet. Oh, there it is, the trio of the DK's pets. That's so cool, dude. That's awesome seeing them in my inventory like that. With Supreme, let's talk to him, see what he has to say. Hey, so, I kind of own you now. Next time you enter those caves, human, my father will be having words. Maybe next time I'll add your brothers to my collection. Well, I already have your brothers in my collection, and I probably will not ever enter that cave again. Killing all 3 of them with only 1 dupe pet. That's still so crazy that I happened to get the 1 pet, like, even though I was killing all 3 of them, like, I just happened to get the supreme pet, and so early, too. You know, since it's 1 out of 5k, I've done, let me add that up. It is 6,899, so a bit under 7k total DK's kills. I should have expected like 1 to 2 or like 1.5 pets, but I got 4 pet rolls. Dagannoths have a weighting of 9, whereas these 3 bottom tasks have a weighting of 8 from Kuradal. But even though Dagannoths are a higher weight, I think I'm going to keep them because I like the medium clues. I just won't be doing them at DKs. I'm kind of frozen right now because I didn't think I would get the pet this video. I do have a stored Abbey Demon task, so I guess we'll do that. Let's swap that out and we'll go do sire. Here's the current sire collection log. About 4,300 KC, no pets. That's so funny. The clue I get now is to go to DK's, or to dig right outside the DK's lair. I guess this will be the only reason I ever see this lair going forward. Now the fairing code I'm going to is DKS. Man, I really just cannot escape it, can I? This is me at the zoo. Me seeing the penguins at the zoo. Hey, come back. That penguin ran away. What do you say to him? I told him that by the overprescribing and misuse of antibiotics over recent decades, we've opened up a veritable Pandora's box of antibiotic-resistant infections. That's what I told him. Don't know what was so scary about that he ran away. Streamer slash YouTuber, luck exists. Lux exists. The luck in question. Yeah, where's my pet? How come I never get pets? Oh. Okay, we got an Unsired. Probably the funniest thing I could have said before getting an Unsired. It is 1 out of 25.6 to get the pet right here. That is head number 7. Alright. Bro wanted 2 pets in a day. Okay, man. 4321 is the second 4-digit sequentially decreasing sire KC. Ooh, there's another Unsired. Here we go, let's do it. That is bludgeon number 7 completed. I'm happy with that though, 2 Unsireds today. I mean, there's a decent chance to get a second pet in one day. I think there's only been one time I've gotten 2 pets in one day. I think it was on my UIM. I think I got Zora pet and farming pet on the same day. Yo, there's another Unsired, yay. Okay. Wow, 3 Unsireds today. 3 chances to get a second pet in one day. It's called Tuesday for a reason, right? It's not called Wednesday. Yes, a dagger. Number 10, the double-digit territory. It is actually Tuesday today. Yeah, I now have 1 Abby dagger for each finger. Except we don't have fingers. It's like Squidward holding the jellyfish net in his hand. I totally forgot to record that I hit 4,400 KC 2 kills ago, but I hit 4,400 KC 2 kills ago, or 3 kills ago. Oh, yo, Unsired, another one. Dude, 4 Unsireds today. Here we go once again. Head number 8. Wait, what's my collection log looking like? 40 Unsireds in 4,400. Yeah, they're starting to catch up. I was behind like 7 or 8 for a while. I'm only 4 behind. That's ridiculous. Getting 22,000 fire runes as a drop. That's pretty sweet though. It's always like the first time we get the Oathplate shards of the day that it gets me. Oh, they fixed the timer for Mark of Darkness. I just realized. Oh. So it says the full 15 minutes now. Man, the 6-hour log is gonna make the Dagannoth Supreme pet message go away. It's so sad. I'm gonna miss it. Oh, and there's the 4 Unsireds as well. More the double Oathplate shards. Oh, I just got 80 mil. That's like right when Spook Dog logged into. That's funny timing. 80 mil fishing XP. Well, here we are back on Waterbirth once again, and I have the loot trackers up here if you want to see what I got from each of the DKs, and we can see the average GE value per kill. So here is Supreme, and then we could take a look at Prime, hover over that. There's the average GP GE value, and then we have Dagannoth Rex. Once again, hover over that, 62k for the GE GP average value. And yeah, another thing that may be fun to look at is the combat achievements for DKs. If I type DAG, They are all green logged. I did get these done a while ago, but I haven't checked. I haven't looked at this for a while. Right now, as I'm recording this, is actually my first time checking this in months, so just to confirm I do have these done. Before I finish DKs, I was going to talk about the prayer XP per hour. I was going to be like, yeah, it's not bad to have to be here for a while because the prayer XP per hour is really good. Obviously, don't have to worry about that now, but I was doing some calculations before, and it surprised me a little bit how much it was because it was more than I thought. So for each Dagannoth bone you use at the Wildy altar, it's 437.5 XP. But you get 2 times the amount of bones. It effectively doubles your bones when you use them in the wildy. So that's the amount of XP per bone. I was getting about 80 kills per hour. That means at DKs, I was banking about 70k prayer XP per hour. In terms of Slayer XP per hour, they're not super good. 306 XP average per DK times 80 per hour. It's like 24, 25k Slayer XP per hour. And there is one final look at the collection log. But I think... that's all I've got to say. So if you want to keep me company when I stream, you could head over to twitch.tv/wild_mudkip, and I'll have Spookdog's most recent GIM video linked below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you again next time.